Hello and welcome to August's gsLive. We have a good show tonight, if you want to call it a show, but we have some special guests from GSUSA here tonight that will be talking about the volunteer toolkit and all things digital out of GSUSA. They're the gurus and they know it all. Haley Workman and Sarah Keating will be here. Amanda Klein is going to talk about STEM. I'm going to try to change this slide here, which I'm not doing. There we go. She's going to talk about our STEM programming for the year, or at least what we've got going on so far. And then Diane Nelson is here to talk about what upcoming events that are happening around the council. We'll end it up with some calendar events and we'll call it a day. Let me introduce you to Haley and Sarah, give you a little intro on them. Like I said, they're members of staff of GSUSA. They're going to give us the latest updates on BTK, how to make it work for you in person and virtually. And hopefully we'll all get a lot of good tips. Haley is the Director of Digital Operations at GSUSA, but she's one of our homegrown girls. Haley is from the Burlington area and has literally built a career in Girl Scouting. After her years as a girl member, she joined the staff of GSEIWI in recruiting and then in programming. Then she became the product program director at Girl Scouts of Greater Iowa, and now she's working for GSUSA. And like I said, their digital operations team, primarily focusing on maintenance and enhancement of the volunteer toolkit, and along with other digital programs and partnerships. Joining Haley tonight is Sarah Keating. Sarah is a troop leader from Girl Scouts of Greater New York, leading a group as she has a very boisterous and currently quarantined cadets. She is also leading GSUSA's digital content strategy and overseeing Girl Scouts at Home, a rapidly developed resource designed to support girls, families, and troop leaders during this period of social distancing. Sarah has a master's degree in earth science education with a specialty in game and project-based learning for middle and high school. So I'm going to get them on the call. I am going to show their slides, if I can get it going here. See if it'll work. There we go. How's that look to everybody? Showing the right one?
There it is.
All right.
Awesome. Thanks for that introduction, Claudia. And hi, everybody. This is Haley. I'm going to go ahead and get started with our volunteer toolkit updates. Great to be back working with EYWI again. So I really appreciate the time tonight to kind of feature the updates and enhancements that have come over the last 12 months, and even most recently over the last few weeks with volunteer toolkit. So we can go to the next slide. And there is a little bit of a delay, so if other people see the slide before I do, that's what's happening. So first we're going to talk about kind of an overall experience that we've integrated into the volunteer toolkit this year, and that's specifically for first year leaders. So when you log in after August 6th, there was a question presented, and it says, are you new? And are you a troop leader? And so if a user clicks yes, if you select yes, the volunteer toolkit then intuitively kind of guides you around its features. So for those that have been users before, sometimes you kind of have to figure things out for yourself. And what this experience does is provides a little pop-up tour of the system, so you don't have to do that, especially for our first year leaders. So they'll see information about being girl-led, how to make a year plan selection, and then on every tab there's a little take a guided tour button that will give them more helpful information on how the system works and how to keep moving forward. So we'll go to the next slide. So here's another example of ways that we've given more guidance to new troop leaders this year, specifically for Daisy and Brownie, because we always have to start somewhere. We've put out a new year plan that's specifically kind of an ideal first year experience. So it is a good mix of cookies, outdoor, good neighbor, Girl Scout way badge, like just a great collection of this. If this is your first experience in Girl Scouts, here's a little bit of everything to get you started. Next slide. So then we kind of move further into the Explore tab, and some additional features we implemented this year are a print button for the pre-built tracks. So hopefully everybody knows there's some pre-built plans in the system that you can pick from, so you don't have to start from scratch. And there's a print button there when you look at the preview that you can download a PDF, take that to your girls or to your troop meeting, or now show on the screen at your troop meeting to help them make decisions on what plan they're working on. Additionally, if we're not quite ready to pick a plan and set some dates, the Award and Badge Explorer is now linked at the bottom of that Explore tab to kind of mix and match the ideal plan for your girls, get some input, and then come back to the VTK to build it out later. Next slide. So then we look at the My Troop tab, and here just want to call out a couple additions. One for troop leaders. So for new troop leaders, we've added that Take a Guided Tour, which shows them the key features of this tab and why you use it. And then for parents, so for our parent users, there's a download button. So previously, parents couldn't download their girls' achievements out of VTK, and now they can. So now there's a report at the end of the year, all the great things their girls have done. They can download that and keep a copy for themselves. And troop leaders have always had this function, so we just extended it to our parent users as well. Next slide. So next we move to the year plan tab. So this is the overall calendar. And again, just calling out that Take a Guided Tour button, which is grayed out here because we're demonstrating the guidance that's shown on the screen for our first time users and anyone else who's looking for a little bit of help. So if you click on the Take a Guided Tour, you're going to get shown around the year plan tab, specifically the call to action links at the top. It'll show you the features of each individual meeting and guide you in your next steps in the system. So here specifically, we call out the manage calendar, the add badge activity, the add badge journey, and add activity. And the system guides you through setting up those things on your year plan, again, so our new leaders can have a well-rounded experience, and all of our returning leaders can access those same tools in case maybe they aren't VTK users prior to. You can still get that same tour and same, hand holding around the system to help you through it. Next slide. So then as we went through the spring and got to this point in the year, we wanted to take a review of the holidays and messages we're putting out throughout the VTK. So one of the ways that we've strived to be more inclusive in that respect is with the holidays that are built into the system that troops might want to schedule around. So specifically here, we'll see the change from Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day, the addition of Juneteenth, and then also just the overall message to troop leaders that they should really be taking into consideration any specific cultural or religious respects that are unique to their troop and special days and things that are important to their group that they may need to take in consideration when scheduling meetings. So we've done a little bit of standardization with VTK in collaboration with the other printed guides that we've also put together at GSUSA, like the family guide. So just kind of standardizing what we're calling out across the board, but then giving room for that customization that troops need to make on their level as well. Next slide. So this isn't a new feature, but one that has kind of been adapted quickly based on the environment that we're now finding our troops meeting in. So the location, the ability to add a location to our meetings has always been a feature of the VTK. But now some people don't know that it can actually be repurposed. So here Under the Manage Calendar link, you can add the location name, and typically you'd add a physical address here, but you can actually drop in a URL link. So this could be a virtual meeting, this could be a Zoom meeting, or whatever other platform you're using. Maybe it's GoToMeeting. You can drop that link in here, add it to the specific meetings. In this example, I added it through December to be safe, showing my troop's going to meet virtually through December, and then you can add it to the meeting. And on the next slide, I believe we're going to see an example of where that goes to the top of your meeting plan. Yep, here it is. And you can see, and your parent users can see if they also log in, that location, that it's a virtual troop meeting, and they can click that Zoom link and get right to the meeting where they need to go. So this is on the the meeting plan tab now, where we can customize that location to use it in a virtual space. Next slide. Staying on the meeting plan, something fairly new that just came out in the last couple weeks. This was done in partnership with Sarah. Virtual meeting resources. So as we're quickly adapting our in-person troop meetings to virtual spaces, Sarah and her team have put together some general guidance of how to make in-person field trips virtual, or how to adapt icebreakers when you're directing a Zoom call, and just kind of those general meeting principles and guidance that you might need these days to work with your girls. And so those are linked on every meeting plan, right there on the right next to your planning materials. Next slide. And then as we're looking further down our meeting plans, we've also been really proud of the work that we've done quickly to get out activities on Girl Scouts at home. But we know that now that troops are coming back together and starting to meet again, or continuing to meet in some cases, we want to integrate those activities and those great videos that have come to us from all over the country into the VTK, so that troop leaders can use those in collaboration with any activities they might be doing as a group. So anytime you see the Wi-Fi symbol, right now it is just on Ambassador, Cadet, and Senior program. Anytime you see the Wi-Fi symbol, that means there's an optional activity that a girl could do at home, or you can help do virtually. So you're not, if you're not meeting in person. So those are some options that you can pick and choose now on the meeting plans. So again, we are currently today working on getting those in the system. So right now they're just on Ambassador, Senior, and Cadet. Coming by next week, we'll have it on Junior, and then Brownie and Daisy shortly thereafter. Next slide. And then the resources tab. So this is a general tab of information that has a lot of things. This is actually, pulled from EIWI's resources tab today, but I just wanted to call out some new things that GSUSA has popped on there that might be helpful to you. So first, we have the Shop Now. So next, if you're looking in the gray area next to where it says Junior, there's a Shop Now link for every age level that links directly to relevant merchandise for that age level. There's an updated badge and awards chart right beneath that with all of the new programming that's come out over the last year. And then in the troop leadership section, the tips for troop leaders live. So these are GSUSA content, but also another place that the council could choose to put a resource as well if they were looking to. And then under the Girl Scout tradition section, we've also added bridging guides. So while it is August, we know a lot of things have gotten delayed. So just wanted to call that out in case there are still some levels being changed at this point in the year. There is guidance around how girls can still bridge up to the next level and the ceremonies around that.
Haley, a question's come through before you go any further.
Sure.
Kate Cole wants to know, how do parents access the VTK, such as to see that meeting that you showed before?
So parents also have a MyGS login if their girl's a member. And so they would just use that login and click on the volunteer toolkit, and they have a parent view dedicated to them. So as long as the troop has a year plan set up, they should be able to see the meetings that are on that plan. And then I'm done with this slide if there's no other questions. All right, so that's a quick recap of the updates of VTK. Claudia, are there any other questions I can help answer?
Not seeing anything else. Kate says thanks.
All right, then I'm passing it over to Sarah to talk about the how to use it with your girls, and I'll be here if any other questions come through.
Exactly. Hi, everybody. It's good to talk to you tonight. I'm very excited and flattered to have been asked to come in. And I do lead the digital content for girls and adults at GSUSA, but I am here specifically to talk to you tonight in my role as a troop leader, which is my favorite role. So obviously you're seeing pictures here from when we were allowed to meet in person. When my troop were juniors. Um, my troop actually is unique in that we started a little bit late. So my girls all were brand new Girl Scouts, every one of them, when they were juniors. So as far as utilizing the VTK for me as a brand new troop leader, it was really, really important because I needed to know where to start. So I actually used the VTK to create year plans for my troop. So there were preset year plans. I put them all in front of the girls and said, what do you think? And we picked and chose and set it up together. So my troop now has been meeting virtually since March 18th. And we used to meet every other week. We met twice a month. The girls always wanted to meet more often, but the parents kept saying, no, 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 it's too much, it's too much, it's too much, and too late at night. So once we started meeting virtually, the girls said, hey, now we can meet more often. So now we do. We actually meet double the amount of time that we used to meet, which is delightful when you have a bunch of 6th and 7th graders who actually want to spend time with you. It's fantastic. But learning how to adapt all of this program and deliver it virtually in a way that's exciting and interactive to the girls has been incredibly challenging and really exciting. And I actually have, being the leader of a cadet troop, I ask the girls for a lot of advice. So how do you think we should do this? This is what it says in the badge that we should do. How do you think we can adapt this step? And it's been extremely rewarding and fulfilling for all of us. So what I'd love to do is talk to you a little bit specifically about the VTK and how I've used it in two particular contexts. One is when we were meeting in person, and then I'll give you an example of a virtual meeting as well. What you're seeing pictures of here is last year when we were working on our balloon card design badge. So it was a two-meeting, it was a two-meeting badge. I went into the VTK and thought, okay, let's see how we can figure out how to do this. This looks complicated. And actually, I have found the STEM badges are the most easily integrated into your meetings when you use the VTK. Because when you look at the badge booklets, you sort of don't get enough information, but then you go into the VTK and it's all step by step. So you go in and you download your supply list. And if you're meeting in person, you collect what you need ahead of your meeting. You also have your activity plan. It gives you a little script of what to say. The definitions of terms in regards to STEM is very important. My background is in STEM, but it was nice to have a guidepost. There are lots of infographics and worksheets that you can hand out to the girls that will take them through the design thinking process. So utilizing all those resources in the VTK is enormously useful. So a very experienced leader or a moderately experienced leader can go into the two meetings, glance through the instructions, and then you get an idea of what needs to be done, and you sort of go and dive in. Someone who has less experience in either STEM or leading troops can go in and they have a script that's there that you can use from exactly. One of the most interesting things about this particular badge was that, and if any of you have done it, the girls have to learn how force and pressure works in order to make a balloon-powered car. The other tip I'll give you whenever you're doing STEM, always do the activity at home first. Spend an hour or so, make yourself a prototype, because wherever you have trouble, your troop's gonna have trouble too. And that way you get a little bit ahead of their questions. So I made a model, it was great. I get to the meeting and the car didn't work. So we reverse engineered it. Which piece of it doesn't work? So it became, all right, well, which pieces are working, which pieces aren't working? It was, for me, frustrating that I couldn't get it to work, but the girls loved it. They spent 2 solid meetings, 2.5 hours each meeting, trying to get their cars to work. Eventually, we got to a point where it worked okay, but it wasn't perfect. And when I said, okay, so do we want to keep going? So I think we can get to our race next week. They said, nope. What's the next badge in this engineering series? We want to do that one next. And I said, okay, great. And I thought, I wonder if that was successful. And then in my end of year surveys, this came back as the activity they enjoyed the most, because they enjoyed the process of trying to figure out why it wasn't working, and they enjoyed, I suspect, watching me not having it work. So it was a great experience for all of us. With regard to online and virtual, also incredibly useful. So you go into the VTK. For this year, we did the Corgi Life Vest engineering challenge, which was enormously fun. There's actually a video on Girl Scouts at Home that takes girls right through the activity. It's a simplified list of materials that the girls needed. So I sent them a list ahead of time. This is what I need you to do. For some of them, I needed them to adapt. They didn't have foam, they didn't have this, they didn't have that. So a little bit of back and forth saying, okay, we'll try this, try that. We all got on our Zoom meeting. I projected what the method and the instructions were. And they aimed their cameras, their Zoom cameras, at their hands, and they built and they helped one another. When someone would get stuck, we would stop the meeting and everybody would go and help whoever it was that had gotten stuck. Highly collaborative, highly interactive. And once again, we still were able to download all the meeting resources and then project them into our Zoom screen. So when we're talking about the design thinking process, we can just project them up. When we're talking about the vocabulary, we can project them up. We use the whiteboard a lot in our Zoom meetings in order to brainstorm processes and work our way through problems. It's a very collaborative space. In this case, we didn't need to use breakout rooms, but those have worked very well in the past as well when you need to break the girls into smaller groups. So in general, the VTK I found enormously useful when working through all of my badges, but specifically the STEM badges, because of the granularity and in the interactiveness of the activities themselves. So everything is there for you. So you start with the activity overview, you go into the materials, and then you dive right in. That kind of thing also makes it easy for older girls to help plan the meeting with you. So if you have an older girl as a partner, or you just want to give her the material, it makes it very easy for her to help lead sections of the meeting or the whole meeting as well. I'd be happy to answer any questions about virtual meetings or about in-person STEM meetings, adapting for any ages. I'd be happy to answer questions if anyone has them.
Sarah, Haley said that your balloon car meeting could be pulled up in the VTK.
Yes,
Now,
it can.
where would I find it?
Okay, if you go to your council site, go to your landing page and click on My GS.
Yep, I'm there.
Okay,
I'm gonna reshare my screen here.
super.
Can it be? Is it showing?
Yes, it is. Yep.
Okay, good. All right, now where do I go?
Okay, go to your homepage. Go to My GS, which is over in the corner. It's yellow. And go down to Volunteer Toolkit.
Okay.
Now, looks like you're already signed in. You would have been prompted to sign in if you weren't.
Yeah, I've already done that part.
Yep, click right there. Go to...
Claudia's a council admin and not a troop leader.
Oh, is that going to be a problem?
You can go to VTK demo at the URL, up top in the URL.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Darn, we thought we were going to do it.
There we go.
Yep.
All right.
And then use the drop down on the left and choose junior.
There
now
we go.
Sarah can help you take it from here.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Haley. All right, well, let's go to build your own. So click right there.
Yes.
Click yes, yep. So we're building a custom year plan. Okay, now so this is where your search field is. So we know we want balloon car design. So you can click, you just type that in.
That's like I spell it.
That's probably enough right there. You could also use filters. If you click to open the filters section here, you can filter by pillar, or now scroll down. Keep going. They're alphabetized by level. So
I want juniors.
Yep. Daisies. There we go. Okay, the top
There it
two
is.
are. So click select meeting.
And one or two.
Both of them, because those are the two meetings that it
Oh, I
takes
get
to
it.
earn this badge. Yep. So add to your plan. Perfect. Okay, so now those are the two meetings in your year plan. So if you click on meeting 1, and these are the resources that we're talking about. So if you click on, so here you'll see just sort of format-wise, your planning materials, so your meeting overview, your activity plan, and your materials list. Materials list is enormously helpful. And then the meeting aids down here, so you have your promise and law if you need it. You have a poster of the design thinking process. Do you want to open that up? Yeah. So it's a nice PDF that you can either, if you're in person, you can print out and give one to each girl, or if you're meeting virtually, you can pop it onto a slide and project it right into your meeting. So go back to your previous tab there. Yep. So scroll down and you'll see agenda here. So these are the parts of your meeting. So as girls arrive, there's a really fun pinwheel activity here that you start with. And then there's so if you click on each of these, they pop up a window and it gives you the activity and what you should do. So in this case, you're learning about wind power. So there's a pinwheel instruction sheet, so you can have all of this out for girls to do before the meeting starts. Or if you're meeting virtually, you can have them working on it while you're waiting for everybody to show up, because no one ever shows up on time, or at least my 6th graders, 7th graders don't. And you can close out of that, and it gives a recommended time for planning purposes. So if you click on learn about potential and kinetic energy, this gives you the materials for this portion of the badge. So this is a very helpful view. I will say this is not the only view. If you click up above on, I think it's meeting plan, right, Haley? That's the one with everything all in one.
Activity overview.
Activity overview has everything all in one. So it really is up to you as far as how you like to view this information.
Activity plan. That's what it was.
Activity plan, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So this is
It's
all
like
of that
the
information.
movie script.
There it is.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it depends on your preferred method, truly. But it's all the
I
same
did
information.
want to make a quick call out back to the question about the parent view. Claudia, if you close this pop-up, Sarah had used an example of that design system poster, and normally in a meeting you might post that somewhere, or you may print it out for each girl. So this view is actually accessible by parents. If they log in using their own MyGS login, they can see everything on this page except for manage communications and meeting overview. So if you wanted to share one of these PDFs, they actually have direct access to it through the system with their own login. They can't customize this plan, so they can't delete those activities or change them around, but they have access to PDFs if you need to share them with them.
Well, Kate's really excited that we're showing this screen and getting to walk through on the site. So she thanks everybody.
Great, I'm glad.
Right.
The only other thing I'll point out is under these virtual meeting resources, if you click on Easy Badge and Journey Adaptations there, that is going to bring you to this page, and you can see, so how do you adapt group activities for a virtual meeting? So if you click on that, it'll give you a bunch of ideas for what you can do. So chat leaders, breakout rooms. So these are 4 of the most common things you'll find in most programs. So group activities, trips, guest experts, family events. So these are recommendations for how you can adapt those for any meeting. It gives you a starting point.
Yeah. Anybody have any other questions? I'm not seeing anything.
Okay, thank you.
Well,
And
thank
thanks
you.
for navigating this for us. I'm so sorry we
Yeah.
couldn't project.
Now I have to figure out how to get back here. I am going to, for a second here, stop in here. I'm going to end this. Hold on a second. Amanda, I'm going to get Amanda on next.
Claudia, while you're pulling that up, hi everyone, I'm Amanda Klein. I'm the STEM manager. I work out of the Waterloo office. And I would like to first, before I even get into what I have ready for you, I want to repeat what Sarah said because it's absolutely true that if you use the VTK on the STEM badges, it is just so much simpler and you will be very happy if you run through each activity at home first. If you have girls who went to Science Sleuths or, oh, I don't remember what the other one we did was, but one where we made the Play-Doh soap, they love to see you fail. I mean, it was the best because I'm usually the STEM person. I know how to program in JavaScript and I teach them and I know how to build robots, but I could not make that Play-Doh to save my soul. So it was all over my hands. Our chat log went insane. They loved watching me do it wrong. And honestly, my own boss loved watching me do it wrong over and over, apparently. So, all right, Claudia's got the screen back up. This is actually a picture from yesterday when we took some cookies over to the Mid-American Hub here in Waterloo. They'd been working the storm the whole time too. Claudia, there you go. Thank you. I have a couple things I want to talk about. First, we are doing family pillar nights this year. The first two will be virtual. Our family STEM night is going to be September 20th from 4 to 6 p.m. This is a Sunday evening. Most people usually have those pretty open, which is when we would like to get a whole family group around their computer together. When my whole family does things together virtually, we tend to hook the laptop up to the TV. So we're all staring at the TV and looking off kilter, but nobody will be watching you watching them. We're going to do these in Zoom and we'll have kind of a round robin station set up, but it'll be virtual. So for the family STEM night, it's $10 per family. You only need to register one person and everybody can come. We are going to have some of the girls from the Girl Advisory Committee leading badge activities for Brownies Juniors. Daisy's Brownies and Juniors. There will also be activities that older girls can have fun with. And because some of the staff, myself included, will also be leading activities. We'll all be together for an intro and a wrap up, and then we will circle around. We will move the rooms so that people can try all the different things. And I will send out a list of supplies, just like I have been for everything else since we've gone virtual. We'll send out a list of supplies ahead of time. Hopefully, mostly things you'll have in your house already. That's usually the goal. Our other family nights will be life skills on November 15th, entrepreneurship on February 21st, and outdoor on May 2nd. They're all Sunday nights, 4 to 6 p.m., $10 per family. And they will all have the same kind of setup. Right now, we only have the first two available for registration, so STEM in September and life skills in November. Because we are switching over our system, all of Girl Scouts is, and we will have the rest of the year built out for registrations somewhere around that November, December timeframe, hopefully, assuming we all get switched over like we're supposed to. We are also having some issues with partner programs right now, just because they're all kind of in the same space we are in different corporate and venue policies, where they can or can't have girls on site, or they have to limit it to, say, 6 girls, and then it's just not worth it to do for them. But we are getting them in more and more, so do keep checking. More is coming up every day.
We were asked if you could repeat the dates.
The dates for the Family STEM Nights are September 20th for the STEM night, and November 15th for life skills. February 21st is entrepreneurship, and May 2nd is outdoor. Since we have decided that September is STEM month, we also have some different activities for girls that I'll be leading. We're going to call it Gaming for Good. It'll be the Coding for Good game design badges for all the levels. Daisy and Brownie work nicely together, so that will be one activity. It's Tuesday, September 29th, 5:30, so they're done early enough for those early bedtimes for the Daisies. And then I'll do cadets late, sorry, not cadets, seniors and the ambassadors later that night, 7:30 to 8:30. That one may go a hair longer just because there's a lot more involved. Juniors will be the next night, the 30th of September at 5:30, and then cadets will be, the cadets will be at 7:30. Sorry, I wrote that down wrong. We will work on the game design badges for each level, and then I will, as I've done in the past, send out a, here's how you finish up the badge. We will also be sending, we will also send the badges out at the end. Just a note on any of the activities we've got coming up right now, when the badges get sent at the end, our Cedar Rapids is where our things get sent out of. So they're between that and GSUSA's shop being a little behind in some of the new stuff. It may be a while, but I promise they will come. Always so STEM, lots of good programming coming up in September, and just keep checking on our website on the events page for other programs as they come up. That's all I've got, Claudia.
All right, thank you. And now we will turn it over.
Hi, everybody. Oh, wait. Hi, everybody. It's great to see you. I am in the office in Quad Cities, and I'm so excited because right next door in the conference room, they're following all the social distancing and masks, but they're doing a first aid training. And I'm sitting here and I can hear people laugh and I can hear them engage. And oh my gosh, I miss that so much. So it's so fun hearing some of our volunteers coming together to learn new skills. Not only virtually, but actually right here next door. So that's very, very exciting. So I hope all of you are doing well. What a world we're living in. I have sympathy to all the families that were affected by that horrible, horrible storm. I just spent the day in Cedar Rapids, and that's a pretty disaster up there. It's pretty scary up there. It's they really took a hard hit. So all of our volunteers in Cedar Rapids, so many of them still don't have power. Some of them don't have internet yet. So we're thinking about you. Anything we can do to help you, please reach out. It was pretty dangerous situation, especially in the Cedar Rapids area. And the President of the United States was there today. I didn't run into him though. And also Camp Liberty really took a big hit during the storm as well. We lost hundreds of trees. We had some volunteers and some staff members that went out last week to help clean it up because it was in pretty bad shape. Still have a lot of trees hanging, but hopefully soon we'll get that all cleaned up as well. So the storm has really taken a hit on top of the COVID-19 and the pandemic. It's been one of those really interesting years. But as you can see from the conversation that Haley and Sarah just had and Amanda, we're doing everything we can in Eastern Iowa and Western Illinois to still keep our girls engaged. Working really hard to continuing our virtual programs. And we're getting some really, really good feedback from our programs that we're having virtually. But so we'll continue doing all of those. We're excited about it. So again, if there's anything we can do to help you as leaders to make sure you have what you need to meet with your girls virtually, please reach out to us. We're here for you. We're going to do everything we can to support our girls. They need us now more than ever. Had a long conversation with a volunteer in Cedar Rapids today. And she was getting some badges for her girls. And she said it's so important that she continues her Girl Scout program. And they're doing a lot of programs virtually because they have a lot of girls with anxiety. They really miss their friends and they really enjoy getting together, even if it's virtually with their Girl Scouts. So please continue to do everything you can to keep our girls engaged because we want the best for them. Just a couple other things that I want to talk to you about. For those of you that had the opportunity to renew already, before the August 15th date, you'll get more information about some of the programs, the virtual programs that you've earned. So it's coming up in the Troop Leader update and will hit your inbox on Wednesday. And the other thing I just wanted to touch base a little bit about is our national convention is coming up. It's our 55th national convention for Girl Scouts. So every 3 years we have this convention, and this year it's October 23rd, 24th, and 25th. And at the convention, it gives us an opportunity for our delegates that you voted on at our annual meeting. They'll get an opportunity to vote on proposals that are impacting the work that we do in Girl Scouts. They also will have the opportunity to vote to elect our new national board members and our new board development committee. So our meeting was scheduled in Orlando, Florida, and we were going to go to Disney World with our delegates and our girl delegates. And we had lots of activities going on, and now we're going to sit behind a screen and do it in our offices, but we still got to do it. We still have to have the voice of Eastern Iowa and Western Illinois. So even with this COVID-19, the meetings are still going to be held, and they're going to be virtually. Our 8 delegates, our 3 girl delegates, and our 3 alternate delegates will be part of this program. So they will be working with us. I was going to say sitting, but that sounds terrible. But they are going to be partnering with us on October 23rd, 24th, and 25th. So they have an opportunity to vote for gsLive. So there's lots of proposals. There's 6 different proposals that we're working on. They're anywhere from talking about the gold award to lifetime members to the cost of membership and who should be responsible for increasing the cost of membership. There's a lot of very interesting proposals out there. So they will be on our website. So get on our website and you can see what all the proposals are. They will also be, we will be reaching out to your leader meetings. We'll be reaching out to your troop leader meetings and doing sharing the proposals at your troop leader updates. And in this gsLive in September and October, we're going to have our delegates here that can talk about the proposals and hopefully get your feedback and your thoughts and ideas. So it's really important we hear what you have to say, because their responsibility is to really listen to what our volunteers think. So when it's time to vote, we have a voice for everyone in Eastern Iowa and Western Illinois. So please be watching, get online, get on our gsLive in September, October, attend your leader meetings, look at your top 10s. And then our delegates will be reaching out to our service unit directors and answering any questions you might have. And just remember, if you have any questions about the proposal, you can always go on info@girlscoutstoday.org because we're always here for you. So with that, those are some of the big things that are happening with the National Convention. I just want to say that it's just been as you know, it's been a really challenging year, but I just want to know that we'll continue thinking about all of you. I know many of you are struggling with some of the things that are happening with your kids and deciding if you should send them to school or let them work from home. I've just had so many different conversations with volunteers. You guys got a lot on your plate, and I just so appreciate you making room for Girl Scouts. I've said this every time I've been on gsLive, is that we need you now more than ever. We really need to get our girls engaged in our Girl Scout programs, but we couldn't do it without you. So thank you so much for everything you're doing for our girls. They need us now more than ever. So appreciate everything you're doing, and I hope you guys have a great night. So I'm going to turn it over to Claudia, and she's going to close this up. So thanks, everybody.
All right. Are you seeing the screen here? Here's some upcoming events that are happening. Probably if you want to get all these dates down, and they will be in other publications, but you can just hit your print screen and save it that way if you'd like. Just a couple of things that I wanted to just give you just a reminder about. If your troop is changing hands at all, any troop leaders that are moving up to a different level, or you know, got some new people coming in, remember you've got to get your banking changed so that the people that are on your bank account are registered members. A little bit different this year because a lot of lobbies are closed. We are suggesting that after you get your materials from finance that you need to go to the bank, give the bank a call. Find out the best way to have a meeting with them. Rather than, you know, you're not going to be able to go in unless you have a meeting. But they'll give you the best protocol for their bank. Something to think about to make your changes. And if you're moving up to another level, make sure you get registered for that next level in the Girl Scout age level Facebook pages. Now that we're starting to get moved up, and if any of you are new and have not gone on, please go on and get yourself registered on the age level that you're working with. So that is all I've got here. I am going to put on my camera here, but I am being blinded by the light. So I am going to quickly choose some names here. Where do I have? You know, I am going to give, I have a couple of door prizes. And I am going to give the first one to Kate Cole. She was asking a lot of questions. I think she would like this book. So I'm going to, oops, did I do that right? I had it over on the other thing. I can't get this right. All right, there's that. And I have one more I'm going to give away tonight. Let's see, Angela Byers. And I have kind of a retro thing for you. It's a mailbox, a vintage thing that we've had. So I'm going to send that over to you. Well, that's all we got. Thank you for attending tonight. We appreciate it and glad to have you on. We did record, so you know, if anybody asks, or our friends in Cedar Rapids that couldn't get on tonight, they will have access to the recording. So with that, have a good evening. We'll see you soon.